Shifu, I think a few days ago you mentioned about different school of teaching. So I also is not sure what are the different school of teaching. Like you mentioned the word 法门, right? So I think I have people asking me, 你修什么法门? I also don't know how to answer. So I don't know what kind am I actually learning from as well. Yeah, maybe you can Shifu advise on that. Thank you.
Okay, good. Thank you for the question. So what is 法门? 法门 is Dharma door. No? Dharma, men, door. Literally, Dharma door, and it is in a way an analogy or metaphor to indicate that a way. No? So, 能入者门. Yeah. So it is the different Dharma teachings is described as doors because it allows you to enter into the ultimate reality. Yeah. Can allow you to go from unenlightened to enter into the enlightened state. So when someone asks us, 你修什么法门? Yeah, what kind of, in other words, what kind of practices are you doing? Or which school of teachings are you currently following? Of course, this question itself has a certain connotation. Because after all, shouldn't there be just one Buddha teaching? Yeah. Shouldn't be that, hey, you mean you're all Buddha's disciples, but different? It's just like when you go to a school and if you're all taking maths, then do you go and ask your child, hey, which maths department are you learning? Yeah, of course, in truth there is whether you take A maths or E maths, both are maths, right? But A maths, by virtue of the curriculum, it covers more things. Yeah? But if you are taking A maths in this school and A maths in that school, the boundaries should be the same, right? Boundaries should be the same. But using that analogy further, then we can say, are you in science streams or art stream? Yeah, and even within science stream, maybe you take physics chem, maybe you take triple science, physics chem bio, and so on. So, 法门 in Buddhism would mean the different kind of lineages or practices, more specifically the practices that you are doing, yeah, or the teachings you follow. But currently in Singapore, if the person asks whether you like 你修什么法门, it has become quite distinct to either say, 我是修净土的, yeah, or 我修禅宗的. Yeah, you usually just only talk about these two. So, but the truth is, even if you still 净土, you should also practice meditation. Yeah, because we say 戒定慧三学嘛. How can it be that, 我修净土我不打坐? Then something is wrong, right? Because even in Nito Jing it says, the birds, even the birds, when they chirp, the teaching of 无根无力七菩提分大乘教子. Yeah. So 无根无力, these are for meditation. But usually what they mean is, do you practice Pure Land or do you practice meditation? Yeah. Within the Chinese Mahayana tradition, there's even Lü Zong. Yeah. So, which is quite interesting because if you think about it, you mean there are some that don't practice Vinaya?
I think there are 18 schools.
18 schools. The 18 schools, no, quite. this time round I must say no. Usually I say can also, but this one I must say no. Because 18 schools is referring to the development of Buddhism in India. Yeah. So that is shortly after, well, I say shortly, it's actually about, let me see, first council, second council, about 200-300 years later. Yeah, about 200-300 years later. Because at the third council, there's a disparity between how they interpret certain teachings. Yeah. So second council was about the practice, about in particular the Vinaya. Third council was about the disparity, looking at how they look at the teachings itself. So that is predating what Pure Land, Chanzong and so on. Chanzong Pure Land came much later. Yeah, but it's built on top of some of this development. Yeah. Some students ever told me this. They said, this is quite interesting. So some students, some people may wonder, so you learn and you seem to be attending a lot of Venerable Changpan's classes. So what Farman do you practice? Yeah, or what do you all actually learn? So then there are some students who may ask, like, Shifu, can you maybe give us a more comprehensive or systematic series of classes? You know, like other places, they have Foshepan, you know, they have Foshepan, they have Dharma classes, like beginners, like 1-year course or 2-year course or 3-year course. Then after that, got 中级班, intermediate class. Then after 高级班, yeah. Maybe I don't mean to blame my teacher, but my teacher tend to he gave teachings mainly on the sutra and the commentaries. Yeah. So when new students come in, I don't see him saying, okay, now you just came in, you go and attend the 初级班. I don't see him doing that. Yeah. Perhaps more importantly, one of the reasons why I often highlight, come back to your current state. Yeah. So ask yourself, what are the things, what are the areas that you are currently agitated over? Yeah. Work on that first. Yeah, work on that. Because no matter whether you attend this course or that course, why do we attend all these courses? Why do we attend Dharma classes? Why do we attend Dharma talk, retreats? Yeah. Why do we do all that? It is to remove our defilements, isn't it? So if the aim is to remove our defilements, then why don't we just go and remove our defilements? Hey, but Shifu, some people ask me, what is the name of the Buddha's mother? Because you never give us a systematic course. We never learn about life of the Buddha. We never learn about who is the name of the Buddha's mother, the Buddha's father, how about the third uncle's name, fourth auntie's name. Then when they ask me, I cannot answer. Yeah. Sometimes on occasion, when people happen to ask, I will also share on that. Hey, Shifu, you're very selfish. You know all this, you never tell us. Because all these are quite, to me, maybe I got it wrong. Because this kind of information, you can just Google yourself. And this kind of information doesn't help you to attain enlightenment. Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, knowing that the Buddha's mother is King Maya doesn't help you attain enlightenment. And it's not that I go and study all this, then but I don't teach you, or I tell you not important. All this were covered in RK in 1980, when we were Sec 3, Sec 4, right? Was it Sec 1, Sec 2? Sec 3, Sec 4, right? So Sec 3, Sec 4 for me was 88 and 89. I happen to remember all this, most of these things. Yeah, RK we covered a lot of things. Yeah, King Sudodana, Mahaprajapati, you know. So, but these are, so if you attend like 3-year course, then they will always cover like the whole range. Yeah. But like in the monastery in US, my teacher never talked about life of the Buddha. They never covered in that kind of so-called structured fashion. Yeah, and even when he is covering, let's say, a commentary, like let's say, Siddhartha Mahana Sangraha, while he covered the text, time and again he always highlight, 我们学习四大乘论来做什么呢？无非就是要调伏烦恼，断除烦恼。我们要常常去就是去注意我们的贪嗔痴烦恼。Yeah, he always still highlighting harping. Yeah, even when people come and like in the monastery, sometimes we also have dispute or quarrel. So whoever go to see my teacher, right? This is what I heard. Like usually 2-person quarrel, then they go and find the teacher. Right? Then like I heard my teacher will ask the person to like to overcome their unhappiness. Yeah. Then some of them is like, I can't report to you. You never go and settle that guy. You settle me. So my teacher said, like basically because you come to see me, so you can still be helped or something like that. Yeah. The person never come to me. Maybe that person problem. Yeah. So in our monastery, the focus is always on how to use the teaching to work on your defilements. So if someone asks you, 你在修什么法门? And assuming you're considering what you're learning within the classes I teach, then I tell them, 我修烦恼法门。我修烦恼法门。怎么断烦恼？怎么调伏烦恼？怎么断烦恼？So tell them, I practice the defilement Dharma way, Dharma door. Yeah. How to mitigate defilements, how to eradicate defilements. Yeah. We meet again, may we guided and protected by the Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And as always,
Likewise.
Have a taintless day ahead. Bye-bye.